Hello there and welcome to the announcement of the year from Luminar NEO. Skylum, a leading innovator in photo editing, has announced a significant milestone in the evolution of this software. The upcoming updates to be released in the coming months will take our editing capabilities not just one step, but many steps forward. In this video, we will start by looking at the list of updates planned for the upcoming months. After that, we will touch on each of the new features before moving into Luminar NEO and showcasing one of its first tools scheduled to arrive at the end of August 2023. And now it's finally time to look at the list of all the new tools and updates we're going to see this fall. Starting from the top of the list, let's look at the trio of AI generating tools. The first one is the GenErase. This is a next generation tool that removes unwanted distractions from your images. The second tool is the SceneExpand. It lets users extend the boundaries of their photos, adding a new dimension to the original composition. Finally, the third tool is the SceneSwap, and it allows users to replace specific elements like the sky or foreground with the high-quality AI-generated visuals that blend seamlessly with the rest of the photo. Next, we're going to look at the three additional tools that will also be introduced in the upcoming months. The first one is the Water Enhancer. It is designed to add visual impact to the water scenes in landscape photos. Next tool is the Neon and Glow. This tool will allow you to add or enhance your creations with stunning lighting effects. And finally, the Studio Light tool, which will allow you to replicate lighting effects usually achieved with expensive technical equipment in a studio directly in Luminar NEO. Now moving on, looking at the next set of updates, which will bring an introduction of refreshed UI design and navigation in Luminar NEO. These updates will address user interface fatigue and usability issues, as well as improve the overall user experience. The improvements will address some of the most common challenges with photo management and interaction with the app, making your experience using Luminar NEO even more intuitive and enjoyable. Finally, let's talk about the availability of all these updates. Now, as I already mentioned, the Studio Light tool will be added first to the software in the next release within a month. And the rest of the tools and features will be gradually incorporated over the following months this fall. Now the platform upgrades and generative technologies will be available to a monthly and annual Pro, Explorer and Ultimate plan subscribers. Existing Luminar NEO lifetime or one-time payment users can opt to switch to the Pro subscription at an early bird rate for $49 for the first year. Or they can make a one-time purchase of the 2023-2024 Creative Journey Pass for just $39. This pass will grant access to generative technologies until August 16, 2024, as well as all the new features announced and released before that date. Now finishing the list of the news, I also want to mention our Luminar NEO Masterclass. With over 6,000 copies sold, it's one of the most popular Luminar NEO courses out there. Starting from the 31st of August, the Masterclass will continuously be updated with tutorials covering all the new tools and features. And as always, all these tutorials will be available for our current and future customers. But more about that later. For now, let's have a closer look at some of the upcoming tools. Now let's start by looking at the first AI generating tool. Of course, it's the GenErase. The GenErase is in fact the next generation erase tool for Luminar NEO. It doesn't only removes unwanted distractions from your images, but it also replaces those areas using the content-aware tools, providing a focused and distraction-free composition. Now, what's important is that this feature preserves the integrity of your photos by intelligently filling in the gaps with textures and other elements to match the surrounding area. GenErase can seamlessly remove objects like trash, street signs, vehicles, graffiti, and more to preserve the beauty of the composition. Now we have 3 examples here. Let's have a look at them. Right here you can see the person standing in front of the camera, really easily removed with this tool right here. Then we have another image from a similar scene or similar photo shoot. One more time, just using this tool, removing the car and the person. And finally, on this third example, you can see that you can use this tool to remove a specific subject like this tent or any wires or lines in your images. The second tool we're going to be looking at is the SceneExpand. This tool enables users to extend the boundaries of their photos, adding a new dimension to the original composition. Whether creating panoramic landscapes or adding breathing room to favorite image, SceneExpand offers the ability to break free from traditional aspect ratios and unlock new creative possibilities. So we have an example here where we really started just like this with this kind of square crop and square image of the person standing on the rock. And in the first move, we add the sides of the image. So let's look at the tool. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And as you can see on the initial image, we have replaced the sides. So the AI was able to create this rock here and also continue with the road. On the final image, you will see that it was able to basically fill the entire image. So to finish the rock and really finish the landscape. I think this is really incredible to see what it's able to do and see that we have started here with really just square crop with no data on either side and finished with something like this. Looking at the third AI generating tool that is called SceneSwap, users will be able to replace specific elements such as skies or foreground with high quality AI generated visuals that blend seamlessly with the rest of the photo. Now it's this tool that really brings the AI generating into your images. You may have seen some of the similar results in a specific applications or in the new tools in Adobe Photoshop. Now moving forward, you will be able to do similar things with your own images. So for example, on these samples right here, you can see how easy it is to add a bee to the image like this here, or how simple it is to change or swap the dress on your main subject. And now it's time to look at some of the more classic tools that will make our life as photo editors much easier. Starting right here with the water enhancer. This tool is designed to enhance water features in aquatic scenes, giving landscape photos greater visual impact. Again, we have 3 examples here, so let's just zoom in and have a look here. So you can see this kind of brown water, not very interesting. With this tool, we will be able to turn it into this paradise-like capture. After that, right here, we obviously have a person which is surfing on the water. Again, from this kind of dull looking water, we will turn it into this really exciting blue sea. And the third example right here, you can see the boat going through the river. Again, really nicely and easily adjusted and turned into this really exciting water feature. The neon and glow tool will not be for everybody. However, as an additional tool, it will elevate your creation with impressive lighting effects. This tool will allow photographers to overcome challenges such as inadequate lighting conditions and seamlessly blend visual striking neon elements into the composition, making them even more interesting. So let's have a look at some of the results. Some of them are really creative, like this bird right here. I think it's exciting. Of course, it's not realistic. However, it's really creative. Then we have this image right here, almost like coming from the future, creating this really nice gate. Then moving on the next image, you can create this border around. It's almost something like a cover for your next album or CD. Next thing, which I like the most, is this triangle here. I think that's really exciting as well. And I have seen beta version of the tool, and I think it will be really exciting to be able to create something like this directly in Luminar NEO without the need of introducing number of different tools. And to finish it off, I want to show you the super exciting Studio Light tool. This creative tool for portrait photographers will allow you to replicate lighting effects usually achieved with expensive technical equipment in studio and breathe a new light into older or current photos. With the Studio Light, creators can easily add a whole new dimension to portrait photos. Now, before we jump into the application and I will show you how it works, let's look at some of the examples. So we have one right here where you can see a really cool example of these shadows being displayed on the head, hat, and the face. Then we have this one, really cool as well, really looking like there is a sun shining through the window, creating this really cool shadows across as the body and the face again. This also a good example of seeing how you can use this effect on outdoor pictures. Next, similar to the previous image, again, you can see that the effect can be applied to additional items or additional elements on the image. Now, this one is really nice, creating an additional depth and really make the photo even more interesting. And here, one more time, an example of an outdoor photo where you can see how easy it is to create a light effect like this with one simple tool. And now, as I promised you in the beginning, we will jump into the edit module where I'm going to show you a beta version of this tool and I will show you how easy it is to use it and how to really transform your portrait images. So there you have it. We are in edit module. We have our sample file ready and it's time to look at the Studio Light tool. Now, one more time, a reminder that I'm using the early beta version of the tool and things are still going to change. First thing that will probably change is the location of the tool, as right now is in the essential section, but I expect it will go into the portrait part or maybe the creative part of the toolbar. Now, when I open the tool, we will see that we have a series of sliders, button, and some drop-down boxes. That's another thing that is probably going to change is names of some of these sliders. However, still starting from the top, we have the amount slider. We can go ahead and increase it to 100. And what happens, the application scans the image, look for the subject, for the face, and for the body, and then apply the effect. Once it's done, we can bring it down, let's say somewhere around 50, and continue. After that, you can click on the Place Depth Center. When you do that, we will get this little dot, and then we can drag it around and adjust the direction of the effect or of the light. So when I position it here, you can see the effect and the light is coming from here. When I drag it around towards the other side, you can see that the effect is coming from here. So you can position it around and really play around with what you like. So for now, let's just keep it here and continue. Of course that you can click on the button again if you want to, but since we maybe move it again, let's just leave it on. The next three sliders are here for you to be able to adjust the color of the effect. So we have the traditional RGB. You can move the sliders around and really get the exact color you are looking for. So for example, with the R slider, we can bring it down to get some green or red the other way around. You can play around with the different mixtures and really get the exact color you are looking for. After that, we have the sliders that are called filter radius and filter ellipse. However, they are a little bit sensitive at the moment, so we're not gonna use them, and we're gonna move to the following options. Here we have the texture and pattern drop-down boxes. Starting with the texture, let's go ahead and increase the amount. And after that, when we click on a drop-down box, you will see that there is a number of different textures. There is a selection of fireworks, deposit photos, glass, rays, cloud, mist, smoke, and you can also add additional textures with the use of the From Downloads button. So for us, let's just go ahead and, for example, choose glass, and you can see that the texture of the effect changes. You can play around with this, but for the time being, let's go back and click on None. Next thing you can adjust is the pattern of the effect. By default, it uses the dots. However, you can click on the drop-down box and choose between None, and that's where you just get the light. And again, when you move it around, it works with the shape of the face and adjust it. Or you can go for the stripes, and again, when you move it around, you see it a little bit better. And finally, the default option, the dots. So for the time being, let's stick with the dots. Again, adjust the position, and let's just quickly go through the additional options. We can adjust the scale of the texture. So by default, it's on maximum on 200. When you bring it around, you can see that it adjusts the texture on the face. You can also adjust the angle of the texture with the following two sliders. And finally, we have two more sliders at the bottom. One is the depth of the effect, and another one is the exposure of the scene. So since we're here, let's start by bringing the exposure down. And by doing that, you will kind of darken the entire image and make the effect a little bit more dominant. You can, of course, go the other way around and basically brighten everything together with the effect. Let's just reset it, or maybe actually bring it down a little bit, and let's go back to our depth slider. Here we can bring it down and really make the effect a little bit more soft and more natural, or we can push it the other way around and make the effect again really dominant. So as you can see, the Studio Light tool is coming with a number of controls, giving you ultimate control over the final result. This with the combination of masking and also the possibility of adding multiple Studio Light tools to the same image will allow us to really be very creative when it comes to adjusting our portrait images. Now I can't wait to see the final version of the tool, and once I get it, I will be able to record a full tutorial, making sure that I describe and explain every single slider and button in this tool. And there you have it. We have so much exciting stuff coming to our favorite photo editing application. Now, before I let you go, I have a few more reminders. Don't forget that today at 6 p.m. UK time, I will be doing a live Q&A session on this YouTube channel, answering all your questions when it comes to the upcoming updates and all the new features. If you want to see me editing using the Studio Light again on more images, or talk about the upcoming AI generating tools, come back at 6 p.m. today on the 16th of August 2023. If you are watching this video later, it may be a good idea to jump into the live section of our YouTube channel and watch the video even on replay. After that, if you're going to be thinking about upgrading your license or getting the additional license for the AI generating features, make sure that you use our discount code CPNEO10 to get the best possible price. If you can't remember the code, don't forget that it's always in the description of all of our videos. After that, just the final reminder, if you want to get the most out of Luminar NEO and all the new and upcoming tools, make sure that you check out our Luminar NEO Masterclass, which will help you to do just that. To get the best possible price for the masterclass, follow the link in the description of this video. And to learn more about it, you can of course head directly to our website, cleverphotographer.com. And that's all the news for today.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future news or updates. For today, thank you very much for watching. My name was Jacob Bors, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.